Little cool out. We're supposed to get rain this weekend. I can't tell. Everywhere I look, it's a little bit different. Rain, no rain,
No
sometimes rain.
People are guessing about the weather?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it says it's raining this weekend.
Oh, damn. That sucks.
But next week,
Hmm?
it starts 69, nice. 76, and then,
Yeah, and then we get in the 80s.
81 all the way up to 87.
Yeah.
Just nothing but
There we go.
sunshine.
There we go, buddy. That's
when
what
I'm in
talking
Vegas
about.
next week, it's like 105.
Ooh,
or
what are you going to
something crazy.
Vegas for?
Bachelor party. Vegas ain't ready. What up?
Yeah, you're going to be those guys, huh?
Yes, we are.
Dude, Vegas has never seen our group before.
Vegas
man.
has never seen 11 white 24-year-olds getting after it.
Dude, we're going to
you
show that
alive.
town what's up.
Eat you alive.
Gonna dominate, make Vegas my biatch.
Yep. Are you going to go to Caesar's Palace and ask him if Caesar actually lived there?
I am.
Yeah.
We're also booked in the old Hooters hotel. Just cuz.
So you guys are doing Vegas.
We're
the way
doing Vegas.
24-year-old white guys
Yeah.
who say they've never seen anything like us before would do Vegas. I can't wait for this report.
It's gonna be fantastic.
I
I'll
can't-
give live reports.
I can't wait until one guy's like, no, she was really into me.
Yeah, no, you mean Will?
That won't be
You
me.
mean when
That
Will is
won't
like,
be me.
dude,
No.
dude, she said
No,
I
no.
look like Travis
No,
Kelce.
No. She
Yeah.
won't. That won't happen.
And you know
there
what?
will be a guy that happens.
She
to,
is
though.
going to play you like this. She's going to come and sit on your lap and say, "You look familiar." And you're like, are you famous? And you'll be like, "Oh, I've been told I look like Travis Kelce," because you're going to be wasted.
Mhm.
And she's going to be like, "Oh, you kind of do." And then you're going to be like, "See, she thinks I look like Travis Kelce, dude."
I just want it
For
out
the
there.
rest of the weekend.
I have never brought up that I look like Travis Kelce. They bring it up to me.
I mean,
Do you have a shirt that says "I look like Travis Kelce" on? When you're
are you
doing
going
that,
to one of
or-
those sensory deprivation bars where all they do is like they can just they have earmuffs on, eye blinds on, and they're just feeling around? Because if you reach up and you feel a beard, maybe it is Travis Kelce.
I don't know. I don't know
Maybe.
what to tell you, man. The cowgirls apparently seem to think I sound like him.
All right, sound
Wow.
sound
and
like
look
him.
like him.
See, now we're
Okay,
getting to the
yeah,
No. Don't do this.
Mm.
Don't do this.
Add a few
Don't-
drinks, then maybe
Don't
they,
do this.
They list. They heard their dad listening to the Kelsey podcast, and they're like, "Oh, that sounds familiar."
No. You guys want to rain on my parade, but much like Vegas, you will not stop me.
All
Oh,
right.
Vegas will stop you. It will win. It will crush your soul. Nobody has ever beaten that town. No one.
Didn't they beat that town in like one of the oceans? Like 13?
Oh, you mean when they robbed it?
Yeah.
There'd be 11. That'd be the first one.
Where'd they rob in 13? That's the only one I've seen.
I don't know.
How?
I don't know. It was on.
Huh. Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. Hey, we tried the banned ramen today from the one that Denmark has banned. We tried that today. Right before the show, we
did.
had, was it Samyang?
Samyang.
Budlak, the super spicy ramen.
It's got the little fire-breathing chicken on the cover.
Boy, you ordered that. That came very quickly.
Amazon, baby.
Yeah, it got here in a hurry.
It actually got here yesterday.
And I will tell you, when you get a good pack of the Tim's Cascade jalapeno chips,
Mhm.
it's very similar to that.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of kick, but after you're done eating is when you get more of the spice. You
Yes.
got to keep on eating. We ate the whole. We all ate the whole bowl, and it's not like at no point did any of us stop.
And go, ooh, that's too hot. No,
No.
the whole idea that this is like a dangerous level of spice. Denmark, get your S together.
Denmark is soft.
Good
I'm going to go
Lord.
ahead and throw that out there.
It's unbelievable.
Denmark is soft. And I hate to say that. I don't like to say that. But it's where we are right now.
Yeah.
There was nothing special about the spiciness of that ramen. Maybe they just hate ramen. You know?
You know, they're the
How
kind
many wars has Denmark won?
quite a few.
They've won a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of Viking ones.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but they all left. There's a reason why they left. Maybe
That's
they're
true.
like, hey, Too many soft people here. We're out.
We like spice in our food.
That's
I mean,
right.
this is why England, when you go there, like this McDonald's sweet and sour sauce is spicy to them.
Get out of town.
Brother, you cannot, like, everyone's like, oh, they do Indian food. They're like, no, they do Indian food that they stole from India in England. They don't do Indian food in England. I've been through there and spent months upon months there, and they just don't add spice to food.
Yeah.
It's super weird. Like, that region of the world, because England, you know, across the English Channel, they get that separation from Europe, and that's like the line of demarcation of spice.
Yeah.
On that side of the planet, if you get north of France, north of Spain, you know, any of the Nordic countries, there's just no spice. Like, you can go to France and you can find, like, especially in like southern France, because you've got like the northern African influences.
Yeah.
You can get some spicy food.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking up the list of Denmark wars going on here.
Mhm.
And they have Danish victory, Danish defeat, or another result, stalemates.
Mm.
Okay, the Kingdom of Denmark. Boy,
Lost stalemates?
a lot of defeats in there.
Ooh.
We got a lot of defeats in here. They went on a good run, winning streak from 1093 to about 1192, but
Which is like 15 generations back then.
yeah, but boy, they've taken some L's here. They've taken some big L's, and I was expecting a little bit better out of them.
Yeah, well,
It turns out they like to fight everybody.
Oh,
My
yeah, no, I
God.
mean, they were I believe they were the first Vikings, quote unquote, because they didn't have that name.
Yeah.
It was given to them, but they were the first Vikings to go into England.
Yeah, the early ones say Viking victories.
Yeah, and they went in there and they took over basically all of northern England.
Yeah, those are pretty badass folks there.
It took, I want to say, they first got there around 800, and they were basically there until around 1,000, 1,100. I'm trying to remember my old history classes.
Oh, wow. They got 3 ongoing wars. So, they have that.
One with ramen.
Yeah.
Well, 4. 4 if you.
War on ramen.
So you've got South Sudan, the Islamic State.
Well, yeah.
They're in on that one. Yemen, in ramen. So.
Yemen and
ramen.
ISIS, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they're
South Sudan's
it sounds like they're with the United Nations in a lot of these ones. So
yeah, the South Sudan one's a little weird though, but okay.
Yep, it's still ongoing, but they've picked up some victories recently. You know,
I mean, it's not like a
not
like an American war tally.
No,
short time span, a lot of dubs.
Yeah, a lot of dubs, but also a lot of whoa. That wasn't a war. That was an operation.
Yeah.
We didn't lose that war.
Yeah.
That was okay.
Yeah.
Hey, the billboard said mission accomplished.
Yeah. did.
We accomplished our mission.
Yeah. You know what they can't beat? Ramen.
There you go.
And it mildly spicy ramen.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had
like you can go to like an actual ramen restaurant around here and get significantly spicier ramen.
I have no fewer than 4 hot sauces in my refrigerator right now that are spicier than what has been banned in Denmark.
Yeah.
I think we just need to open the horizons a little bit more.
I think sriracha might be spicier.
Yeah, you guys added the sriracha to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was yummy.
I was already just committed. I was
fine.
just shoving. I ate fast.
You did?
I ate fast for me.
Yeah.
Did you finish?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my goodness, I didn't finish.
Yeah. 6 minutes it took me.
Wow.
That's it. So,
It's because he's younger.
Yeah. This text saying, you guys just discovered that? We've been eating it for years. They're all in the Asian markets here in Portland. No, we're not just discovering it. We're just discovering that Denmark has banned it. Should not be banned from anywhere.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
No. All right. Well, there we go. How long are you going to Vegas for? When are you going?
I'm gone. I get in Saturday the 22nd at 9, and I come back Tuesday the 25th at 9.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go to bed on Monday.
You're going to be drunk
No.
and broke coming back. That's a long
I won't be drunk coming back.
You're going.
I'll be hungover. I won't be drunk.
Come on, man. You just said I'm not going to go to sleep on Monday night.
That doesn't mean I'm going to be. Well, yeah, I'll stop drinking at like 2.
All right.
Probably.
Well,
Good luck with that.
yeah,
With having to get to
okay.
the airport.
I can't wait to have
Uber.
a FaceTime that I
No.
did not pick up at 3 a.m. of Ortner going, "Hey!"
I have never called you
You will.
I have never done that. I have
They-
never drunk called any coworker of
You're-
mine,
You're gonna be like,
and I never will.
I beat Vegas, and then you're gonna miss your flight.
Nah, my phone gets put away. It gets turned off. The phone goes bye-bye after
See-
about drink 4.
Boy, that right there is exactly what every young person should know.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you put the phone away when you're drinking, if you are
Lock it up.
just put it away.
Mhm.
Bad's gonna happen.
Mhm.
You're gonna make an ass of yourself on social media.
Mhm.
You're gonna text or call an ex-girlfriend.
That's
You're
what
gonna
I'm
text
saying,
or
man.
call a coworker.
When we were younger,
All bad things happen.
we didn't have that. We didn't have that issue.
No.
Like,
Well,
well,
I mean,
Landline call.
you'd call an ex or two.
yeah, that one. I mean, that one. That goes back to the dawn of telephones. Hell, I bet you back then, some drunk guy would get on a horse and go back to his ex's place. Victoria.
Letter. I will say there was a drunken 3 a.m. FaceTime to a head football coach of mine in college. Then I learned that lesson.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to
Knowing-
order pizza.
Knowing you're on FaceTime.
I I tried to get out of it. He was at the bottom. Fat thumbs. Stuff happens. He has a name that could sound like a pizza place, maybe.
Now, knowing your head coach from college, one, he would pick that up.
He did not.
Two, he would be very upset at you the next day.
He did not pick it up. I did get a text that said, "Do you need me to get you from somewhere?" I said,
See,
"Nope.
he'll ride.
Fat thumbs.
He'll ride.
I made it home safe and sound."
And
Ubers
how
are
was
great.
that conversation the next day?
I just texted him. I was home on Christmas vacation.
Oh no! That saved you. That
Yes, it
saved you
did.
right there.
Yes, it did.
Because your workouts would have been a living hell if that would have happened.
That'd have been a really bad Thursday night phone call.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Well, should we get this show on the road?
I guess.
Yep. We got a looming sweep tonight in the NBA Finals. Do we see it? Do we see it happen? We got a lot of football notes. Do you see the note on what the NFL did to all of its fans?
No.
Do you see what they did?
Mm-mm.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They don't care about you.
Oh yeah, no, that's shocking.
No, but this is like, oh my God, no, they truly do not care one bit about us. And then we got guys getting paid across the NFL.
Lots of money.
Oh, a lot of money. U.S. Open's going on too.
Guys are falling apart.
You know what is the fifth hole today? We got to talk about this fifth hole.
He's chewing guys up.
The fifth hole is it's absolutely destroying golfers today. So we got to get to that. R.I.P. Tiger Woods. I mean, he's not like dead, but
These
his
greens
golf game is,
desert dry.
it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun to watch. So where we got to start though? I watched NHL Stanley Cup last night.
Okay, are we gonna start there?
You want to?
Because
We
I
can?
think we can because
Look,
that was something last night.
I got
The
no
pomp and
hockey.
circumstance.
I got no hockey to break down,
No.
but oh my God,
Whoo!
the people of Edmonton,
Turned out.
and then got kicked in the teeth. Danny Dusty on the Fan.
Built for power or for speed?
in our two finals series.
And the
Which
two premier
kinda
players
sucks.
in both series, or two of the premier players in both series, coming from the same high school.
Yeah. No, they went to elementary school with each other.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now you're gonna have to help me with this guy's name.
Matthew Tkachuk.
Matthew Tkachuk of
Kachuk.
of the Florida Panthers and Jason Tatum are both from St. Louis.
Yeah.
They're both from St. Louis,
Mhm.
Missouri. And there was a picture of them on going to a field trip in elementary school together. And it's like, yeah, these two guys are about to both sweep their way to championships in the same season. That's
It's
crazy.
insane. He went. Tatum also went to school with, in high school, with Connor McDavid, who's the
What?
captain for the Oilers.
Really?
Yeah, was it Chaminade Prep?
He's Canadian.
Maybe it wasn't
We
McDavid.
sure about that?
It was
It's
one,
not
it was one-
McDavid.
It was one of the other stars.
Because he also played in.
I
I think he played in Quebec.
I think he was like 12 when he was drafted.
He's a CHL guy. He played in like one of the leagues that the Winterhawks would play against in
Yeah.
the Memorial Cup.
Yeah. Anyways,
Oh
that-
no, it was the Chuck. It wasn't elementary school. It was high school.
yeah. Well, I mean, there is a picture of them very, very young. If they were in high school, they were teeny tiny looking high schoolers. But
No, it's a premier private high school. I think it's
Yeah.
Saint Chaminade.
both in St. Louis,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Well, those two guys, they're really good. And last night though, I flipped on the Stanley Cup because big puckhead.
Also, there was nothing else on.
Oh, that too. But I was watching that I wanted to see the Stanley Cup being played in
Canada.
right?
Yeah.
Because they go all out. And especially after I heard the air traffic controllers. Did you hear that video?
Yeah, they redirected him. Yeah.
Oh, this is
We gotta play
fantastic.
this,
Yeah. We've got the audio of air traffic control in Canada talking to the Florida Panthers as they were entering Edmonton.
I've got about a 2-hour hold for you, or whatever it would take for you to be low enough of fuel that you'll have to divert from Edmonton. And mention it to your passengers. Maybe they'll figure it out. Delta 8948, against my better judgment, when ready, descent level 290.
Have you got a score on the hockey game?
Game's tomorrow.
I thought it was tonight. I guess you don't. Okay.
Yeah, actually, the Panthers are just headed into Edmonton right now.
Okay, maybe you can divert them. Get...
I threatened them with a hold until they would have to divert, because I didn't see them around.
Good one. The last call you guys need is Gary Bettman calling the ACC.
That's true.
So
I love how Canadian the air traffic controller
you
is
have the
there.
air traffic controller. In the first one was him actually talking to the Panthers plane, being like, "Yeah, we got about a 2-hour hold on you, or however long it'll take for you guys to have to divert out of here." And then you had other pilots chiming in who were just being like, "Yeah, get him out of here." Canada was ready for this.
Mhm.
In Edmonton, that was wild
Bro,
pregame scene.
So if nobody's ever seen it, when Edmonton does the national anthem, they go through the American anthem, and boy, do they blast through that quick. It always take the under. They do it about a minute 30.
Well, that's just like what we do with Canada.
It's
Canada. up
it's
here, or
impressive to
down
hear
here.
it sung that fast. Then they start into the Canadian national anthem, and they do the first verse on the microphone in the crowd. There's somebody in the crowd singing. After that, mic cuts off, and it's 22,000 people roaring the anthem. And I don't care if you're patriotic or not, when all of a sudden the ambient noise takes over the arena in that fashion because they belt it out, it gives you chills because it just roars to life. And that energy transfers into the start of the game, and you can just feel it. It's an electric atmosphere. That arena, when they pan out, it feels enormous. I don't know if it's the way it's set up or camera angles or what. That indoor arena feels like it seats 50,000 people.
It's pretty cool. It was awesome. It was a great environment, and I love I love those big time games. Once the game started, though, Florida scores in the first period, and then Edmonton got an answer, and then it was just like after Edmonton tied the game, Florida just went goal, 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 and it felt
It was over.
deflating.
Yeah, and
deflating.
And Edmonton actually had a couple chances early on. They had McDavid had just
Bobrovsky, dude.
I mean
Killing it.
He just shrugged one off, and then they got put on the penalty kill. Edmonton came around and had 2 shorthanded chances right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's just too hockey for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out. You lost me. I'm dead.
Yeah, but it felt fun and interesting and good
Yeah.
for about the first 8-9 minutes.
But it's cool to see
then,
the environment, and then you just see like this was Edmonton's chance, and their fans were sitting there, and they're like, "All right, we can will them to a victory," and that's even more deflating when the other team's just better than you, right? And that's what we're kind of seeing in both of these matchups. Connor McDavid is the best individual player in that series.
He's being
Luka Doncic
held in check.
is the best
Mhm.
individual player in the NBA Finals, and we're kind of seeing the team is winning in both of these series, and it's convincingly. Like they are just running away with it, and that is like team sports, the team aspect of it. It's everything that you would want, right? Like, and I think that if you are a league, what you want is to say, it's the team, not the stars. We're not going to just sit there and be able to build super teams no matter what league you're in, because we are going to put guardrails up to make it competitive.
Sure.
And if you can build the more complete team, then all of a sudden you've got the clear path. That's what Boston's doing. That's what you've seen with the Florida Panthers. You don't have to know. I don't know hockey.
Yeah.
But you can see it.
They're
where
also
you're like,
that team.
Connor
that,
McDavid is really damn good,
Yeah.
and he's the best one on the ice. But then you sit there and you're like, well, they got like the next 5 best players in this series are
Yes.
all for the Florida Panthers,
Florida
just
is
like with
loaded.
the NBA Finals.
Yeah, Florida is they are a loaded team defensively. They are absolutely insane. You take a look; they've got 3 different lines, and you're like, wow, how are all of these guys on the
It's crazy.
same team? But yeah, no, it's a little bittersweet because I personally I love it that Canada can't win at their own sport, but also I don't want to see Florida win.
Like, you don't want to see Canada win in their own sport.
It's
I kind of want to see the Canadians burn it all down.
it's objectively funny that they can't win in their own sport.
It is.
Like-
I mean, it's like if
So-
the Blue Jays were just
Florida.
running roughshod over Major League Baseball
Yes.
forever.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one thing to lose to Boston, to the Rangers, to the Islanders, to any of the original 6. Yeah, like you get the Red Wings. I get that. The Florida Panthers.
Yeah, when I think of hockey, I think of Miami.
Yeah, or the Tampa Bay Lightning. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Why is the Panhandle running hockey?
Well, because they have to be committed to their craft because they can't go outside because they'll melt.
Yeah, it's
All the Canadians are like, it's too hot, eh? I got to stay near the ice. You're always working on your craft.
yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's
That's
as easy as that.
Maybe the access to ice is just too much in Canada.
Yeah.
Like it's overexposure.
Yeah, they get to go outside.
Mm.
And down in Florida, you're like, nah, I'm gonna stay inside. I'm gonna stay in the barn. I'm gonna play me some hockey. That was fun though. I mean, I love watching playoff hockey. Hockey is the one sport that has benefited the most from HD television. It still
Oh
is
yeah,
hockey.
no. So yeah, no.
Hockey,
the ability to
then
see
golf.
Yeah.
Because like golf, I'm watching the U.S. Open. Am I the only one that is doing this? I'm like 50-50 when they go from like they do the shot and then they'll be like the behind the green where the ball lands. I'm like, I have no idea where. Oh, there it is, and I finally see it. But I remember watching golf as a kid, being like, I have no idea what is going on here. In hockey, remember when they did the
glow
puck
puck.
tracer?
Oh god, it was so great.
Fox did the puck tracer.
Bring it back.
I thought it was great. Hockey people hated it.
Not only was it great, it was easier to track, but you also got to see a little mile per hour action when it glowed red and had a longer tail when it got faster.
Yeah. I was pro that.
Yeah.
But we were kids back then,
Yeah.
so
It's like NFL Blitz, or it's like NHL Blitz.
yeah.
The problem is now is that you don't have slap shots in the NHL really anymore, so you don't really get the 100-mile-an-hour slappers.
Yeah.
Like the one-timer, once Alex Ovechkin completely retires, the one-timer is going to disappear. It's all wrist shots now. It's like it's the NBA going to like more volume threes. The efficiency was found in the wrist shot, so you don't get guys that just have absolute bombs from the blue line.
Where are we at with the knuckle puck?
Still trying to figure that one out.
Still in development?
Yeah. Haven't figured out a way to really defy physics like that yet, but we're getting there. That was such a dumb, wonderful thing. What if I turn the puck and so it's vertical to the ground, and that's what changes it all?
Well, yeah, it's a knuckle puck, man.
That's some Mighty Duck reference.
Yeah,
Sure is, Bob.
it
You're
used
too
to like
young for that.
butterfly
Actually,
around.
it's
Never
actually
saw
D2.
D2. Yeah,
Yeah.
Never saw D2 or D3.
was that Keenan?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
It's knuckle
No,
puck
nothing.
time.
I watched MVP.
Here's a most valuable primate. Yeah. All right.
Did he ever play hockey?
Yeah, he did. He went
Yeah.
baseball, then went hockey.
Oh wow, I
Yeah.
knew the baseball one.
He's the airbud of the chimp world.
Yeah, they should have put him at edge rusher though. A chimpanzee, and you just
a
have
lot
him.
stronger than you think.
If that left tackle tries to long arm him and he just rips his arm right off,
Yeah, you go beats him with it.
I'm here for it. He goes to sack the quarterback and just goes straight for the giblets, and you're
Rips
like,
him out.
yeah, I mean, it's true to life. That's what a chimpanzee would
That-
do.
that's what we should do is get one of those sports movies that's true to life. Like, well, they found a wild wolf and they taught it how to play basketball. Oh my God!
He's dead. Ripped his damn face off.
He's horrible at shooting, but man, does he earn his 6 fouls.
He's done real quick.
Those
Real
are
quick.
crimes in most states, but hey,
All right.
whatever.
Well-
hot puck talk. But yeah, no, the atmosphere
Hockey was fun.
in Edmonton last night for at least 10 minutes was insane.
It was cool.
I was geeked. I was 100% locked in for that first half period.
Yeah. And then I stuck around. I
I
stuck
went
around,
into the
went to
podcast
the
with Sprague, so.
second period, and I was like, "Hey, we got a game." No, we don't.
Yeah, it was.
No, we don't.
Corey Perry was none too happy. It went
Katy
sideways.
Perry was it?
Corey?
What about Katie?
Probably. She's not Canadian. She's probably. She seems like she'd root for the Panthers.
I think she would too.
Yeah.
I feel like that.
Yeah.
All right, that's talking puck.
There you go.
It's talking puck. All right. Didn't think that's how we'd start the show, but here we are. And by the way, Will Ortner, the knuckle puck came to creation because the Mighty Ducks hockey team turned into Team USA. They went to Los Angeles to play in a tournament. They lost their way. So Gordon Bombay, famed coach, he said, "You guys need to go find yourselves again." So they went and played street hockey. And in the street hockey game, they found a kid that could shoot a knuckle puck. And so they said, "Join the team, bro." And he did. And they beat Iceland.
For the championships of the world?
Greenland is covered in ice, but Iceland is very nice.
See? We all learned that as kids. And Trinidad and Tobago wore tie-dyed uniforms.
Hmm.
And that's D2.
And also the Iceland coach was,
I
hot.
don't.
yeah,
Yeah. No, she was
Did
the
he work
trainer,
out?
right?
trainer.
She was the
So
trainer.
the coach was kind
Oh.
of a Nazi.
He
In
had that look
Iceland?
about him.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he was just like, he was...
Look, he looked like a guy that might
he
have
had
moved to
Viking looks.
Argentina.
He had Viking blood in him. He
He's
was
angry?
blonde,
Yeah,
angry.
but even then, I think he
He went for blood.
he had
Yeah.
he had a little Reikiness to him.
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did.
I mean, we were still in the '90s. We weren't that far away. Like we still had generational hatred. I think post Berlin Wall.
Sure.
So, that guy was still lingering there. Anytime anybody was a bad guy, tangential Nazi.
We're just gonna draw that line. You can make that leap if you want to.
It's not that hard.
We're not gonna do it.
No.
I'm now going to have to watch this
You can-
children's movie for the Nazi references.
You
And-
actually
Can't wait.
and the hot.
is that
and the
that's
hot-
what's exciting to you
and the
about
hot
it,
trainer.
Will?
Well, I got to figure out, man, like, were you getting propagandized from an early age?
Yeah. No,
What's
we
going
were
on?
we were learning to hate them.
Well, yeah, I mean, I hate them too, but I want to know why you hate them much more than I do.
All right. 503-864-6326. That's a Vancouver Ford text line. Your dollar goes further at Vancouver Ford. They treat you right before, during, and after the sale. Visit them online at vancouverford.com. We're talking about the dominance of the Edmonton Oilers. The dominance of the Boston Celtics. Is that getting overlooked? That after Will with SportsCenter.
This is a U.S. Open Week edition of Danny and Dusty.
Brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club.
let Gangnam Style go there.
Yeah.
I saw what you were doing.
I mean, Sai's got to get his love. He's got to he's got to get it.
He's got to eat.
Yeah. If the Celtics win tonight, their record this season will be 80-20.
Yeah, I know.
What? Why are you what's wrong with you?
I just
What's going on
the
here?
desire to like exalt this Celtics team, and I'm just like,
Okay, but hold on. Why wouldn't we at this point? Because they could enter rarefied air of teams
I
that
100% get what you're saying and where you're going to go with this. I had this discussion with somebody last night, and I think there's real truth to this. In Celtics fans, and you're going to get pissy, and that's fine. I don't care. The reason they're not looked at and exalted is because nobody outside of Boston likes them.
I do. I'm in Portland.
No.
I love what they've done.
They are not beloved though. That's the thing, is like that Warriors team, we didn't like it as they sat here and demolished the team that we cover up here, but we all went, whoo, doggy.
See, but why aren't we looking at this Celtics team in that vein? Because
it has no personality, it has no joy. It is an AI generated machine
of just incredible basketball.
Don't get me wrong.
It's beautiful basketball.
It's dominance.
It is,
but there's something about this that's not. I hate doing this because it lends some credence to the he's a real hooper type talk as opposed to like appreciating the basketball side of things or the analytics of it all. There's something about them that I think it turns the general public off. There's no one's really that charismatic. There's no real like unifying figure. Like everybody likes Drew. Great dude. Like wonderful human. Like does a million things in the community. Awesome. Derek White, same thing. Jaylen Brown taking the hold of this, great. Kristaps Porzingis finally kind of putting some stuff together. Jason Tatum being Jason Tatum. But that's the thing, is like there's nobody on this team. Like Joe Mazzulla is an absolute psychopath.
Yeah. But I think that is totally what's wrong with the conversation in our sports landscape right now, is that it has to be like that, where we are looking at a team that could be the 12th team in NBA history to finish this season with an 80% win percentage. If they win tonight, they will finish the year a perfect 80-20 on the season and finish the postseason 15-2. If you look back and go back historically, they're only going to be the 4th team since the year 2000 to accomplish that feat. So this century, only 4 teams have done it, and they would be the 3rd team to actually win a title doing that, because obviously the 73-9 2016 Warriors, they did not. They couldn't finish the deal, right? They ended up losing in the NBA Finals. But it's like we want to knock this team down a peg because they're not sexy enough for us, when we are looking at, quite honestly, one of the most dominant seasons in the history of the NBA. And because Joe Mazzulla is a psycho that when Derek White tells him congratulations for winning NBA Coach of the Month, he said nobody cares.
Yeah.
Right? Because Jason Tatum is the build star who doesn't show up in the fourth quarter for games, yet the rest of this team is so damn good that they continue to win. Like, we're not appreciating how truly dominant this team and this run this season is, because it's historic what they're doing.
But it's the most boring, bland, great team probably in the history of the NBA. Whether it's the Showtime Lakers or it's the Jordan Bulls or it's the 04-05 Pistons that, go absolutely bonkers. Even the Spurs had more personality than this. Like there was like this, the Spurs were probably the last time we got close to this, and we talked about nobody appreciates their greatness. And the difference was this: like the Spurs were actually the machine, where they just won and they won and they won and they won and they won some more. Like 5 titles is not one like the Celtics are about to have. If the Celtics go and win 5 titles, then you go, okay, my bad.
Boy.
But
and if you look at it, Tatum, Brown,
And then
White,
that's it.
Porzingis, those guys are all under 30.
Yeah, but
All of them are under 30. Drew Holiday is 34 years old.
the ability to keep them
Horford
together
is really old. But yeah, and it'll be the new CBA will make it restrictive in how they're able to continue to win like that. But my goodness, I think that especially in a time where the NBA is being made to not have this happen. And think of that, where, you know, the ramifications of the collective bargaining agreement where the salary cap is, it's gotten more and more prohibitive since then. And this isn't a team where, you know, the 2017, you know, Warriors who went 67-15 and won, you know, 84% of their games when you add their postseason into it. That was a super team. Like, and it was you had Clay and Steph, and they drafted those guys, and they kept those guys together. And Draymond, they drafted him, but they went out and were like, yeah, we're not going to let this happen again. We need Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And they brought Kevin Durant in, right?
And that's when it, honestly, think about it, that's when it pivoted as far as like people disliking them.
Yeah, but we are looking at when you look at what the Boston Celtics have done, they have done it more organically, and they made a lot of really tough decisions in sending away Marcus Smart, sending away Malcolm Brogdon,
sending away Time Lord and sending away Al Horford and bringing him back.
Yeah, and then just being like, hey, we picked up Drew Holiday, and they're giving up assets for it too, and eventually, you know, they're going to want those pieces. But right now, they've done it the way that every single fan of the NBA is like, this is kind of how we want the NBA to work. You develop your stars, you grow your stars, and then instead of going out and grabbing Kevin Durant in free agency, you go and you have to make a trade where you have to give something up to get something back. And I think the people of Philadelphia are probably even more pissed because, like, basically all of them could have been 76ers all at the same time. All at the same time.
Nate Jones, he had an interesting poll up the other day where he asked back, and I don't think people are being truly honest about this because reading the results of the poll, they're not. But if you went back to 2018-19 and you asked yourself which pair you believed in more going forward, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, or Jalen and Jason, it was still slightly ahead. I think it was 54-46, Joel and Ben. That poll should probably be about 80-20 based on like how things were talked about.
Boy,
then.
revisionist history.
Yeah, there's a lot of revision because there was significantly more belief in Joel and Ben.
Yep. Well, and then there's this one too. Celtics wins have come against injured teams. Dallas, Indy. They didn't play New York, but they played Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell got hurt. There's and et cetera. But I think that the crazy part about it is that they also had the best record in the NBA in the regular season. You know, like it's crazy.
I am not trying to take away from the greatness. I don't even think it's pushback. I think, and I'm being picky about this. They are so bland and vanilla in how they operate. I don't like it. There's no flavor to them. They are the boiled chicken of basketball.
But you know, my pushback to that is, so they drive, kick out, shoot threes, play phenomenal defense. That's kind of what they do. But then it's like we ignore the crazy thing about all the highlights that we see. Jaylen Brown snatched their souls with that dunk in Game 3.
Oh, God, it was great.
And there was about 5 minutes on Twitter where you saw the Jaylen Brown dunk, and then it disappeared. Because it's like they have those explosive plays. They have those exciting plays. You had in Game 2 those blocks at the rim, right? Where it's like, holy crap. No, these would be highlights that are run on repeat over and over and over. Hell, we still see LeBron's chase down block.
And the reason we don't is because nobody cares about this team.
And that's the craziest part, because I understand people don't like. I think what it might be also is Boston fatigue.
Yeah.
Like the city itself, whether it's the Patriots, the Red Sox, the Bruins, or the Celtics, it's like there's just this fatigue of Boston. And when you look at all of the criticisms are, yeah, see, Tatum and Brown can't win the big one. They're on the cusp of winning the
They're
big one.
gonna win it.
And
Yeah.
usually we would revere that
Mhm.
and we'd look at it and be like, no, Jaylen Brown is making the plays.
Well, we've had the Northeast, media industrial complex shoving Boston down our throats for 7 years. That's probably a big part of
And
it.
isn't that a crazy part about this too? Is that that's not even really happening.
Yeah.
Like it's like they don't even want to shove the Celtics down our
Not
throats,
anymore.
which is it's mind blowing
Mhm.
that we're not the acknowledgement of how good they are is not being propped up more.
It's like the whole idea of like when somebody says, what makes a superstar? It's not just playing style. Because Nikola Jokic is still probably the best player on the planet. Nobody cares about Nikola Jokic as far as like the greater NBA fan. Everybody acknowledge how great he is, but how many shoes is Nikola Jokic pushing? Does he have his own signature shoe with Nike?
No.
There's that same thing is persistent with the Celtics.
Here's a question. I want you to think about this because I think what we're looking at with both of these teams is the NBA leaned so hard to being in a star-driven league.
Mhm.
Are they now running into you lose people when you don't have these star-driven teams?
Mhm.
Danny Dusty on the Fan.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to
since really Magic and Bird, and they were like, these guys are going to save basketball. Then
Yeah.
Jordan took over. And then you had, whether it was Kobe, AI, LeBron, Steph, we've had stars driving the conversation around the NBA. And it's always been a star-driven league, and stars always win. The fact that really the last 2 NBA finals, and I think that Denver got so much more love around Jokic than even this Boston team is, and Jokic is way more boring than any of these guys are.
He was also utterly dominant.
He was dominant.
And that's the thing is, I think that's playing a part of this is that the Celtics aren't really playing that great. They have like a couple spurts, but they're effectively beating Dallas quite easily while also stumbling through it. So it's not like neither Jalen nor Jason has been, oh my God, great. Jaylen Brown's been good.
I think Jaylen
been
Brown has
very
been
good.
Great, but not that, oh my God, jaw-dropping.
Well, you look at Jokic
great,
last year,
yeah.
you went, what was he, 33, 12, and 9?
Yeah, and did not jump the entire series. Like, literally did not leave the ground.
I mean, yeah, ground bound as much as humanly possible. I'm trying to pull up his playoff stats last year. Let's see. Over the entirety of the playoffs last year, this is not just the finals. During the entirety of the playoffs last year, which was 20 games,
Whole dang thing.
30 points, 13 and a half rebounds, 9.5 assists. So he essentially averaged a 30, 14, 10 line for 20 games in the playoffs.
Yeah, and this is more boring. But here's where I think we had a more honest conversation and appreciation of those San Antonio Spurs teams was that nobody's talking about like how boring and easy this Celtics team is making it look. It used to always be the conversation
Because
around
they're
this
not
Spurs
making
team.
it look easy.
But they are 15-2. Like they're just
But
stomping teams.
with the exception of that game against the Pacers, where they just annihilated them. That's when you were like, holy crap, what an ass kicking. Just
yeah.
unbelievable beating.
And I think to me that's even more impressive about this team.
Yeah.
Is like they're just like
Their
nope,
margin for error is so great because
We're just
they are good.
we are just going to beat you. And after we beat you, we're going to just beat you again. And we're going to go ahead and lose a couple game 2s, and that's going to be it. That's all she wrote. And everybody's like, the criticism was, can they win a game 2? Yeah. Last 2 series, 2-0 in game 2s, and have not looked back.
Yeah. Also, here's Jokic's stats from the finals.
The Cleveland series, they did beat the hell out of Cleveland a couple of times.
Yes,
so,
well,
yeah.
with Donovan out, yeah.
Yeah.
Jokic in the finals was 30, 14, and 7. Shooting 59, 42, 84. So it was an undressing. Like that was embarrassing. That was bending them over your knee and paddling them.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that was, and you had that against the Lakers. Remember the Anthony Davis doing everything he could, and then he pulls that shot behind his head, that trebuchet at the end of the shot clock that just took their souls. The Celtics just haven't had one of those yet. Game 2, you had the opportunity there, and probably the closest thing is that chase down block.
Yeah.
Where you had a moment like, oh, maybe there's something here. And I think that so much of this, to your point about the idea of the team versus player, this is the problem the NBA faces.
And it's going to get worse if this is going to be it, because they're going to emphasize team.
And that's fine, but they need to make the shift because they're still trying to push player.
Yeah.
Jason, Jalen, Luka, like they want both. And you can't have both. It has to either be about the name on the front or the name on the back. You can't have both.
Yeah.
And that's a business decision, the league and its partners. And that's the thing that they have to communicate is to their partners. The 4-letter. That's the one that they have to make sure makes more sense going forward. Because if you're going to have it be the team, then the narrative and the messaging needs to be about the team.
Well, maybe you have some people that understand what team basketball looks like instead of highlight-driven content.
The thing is, when you look at the press releases that the NBA sends out, well, like most people probably don't see these, but it's always about engagement on social media.
Yeah.
That's the thing that they tout, and it's like, do you want to be in the conversation or do you want to matter?
I also think that part of why people don't appreciate Boston that much is because Danny Ainge pulling one over on people for over a decade, almost 2 decades, and then you have Brad Stevens, who every trade he's done has been brilliant. It's worked.
Yeah, been great.
I mean, just look at the way that they've built this team. Whether it was the acquisitions of Derek White via trade, Drew Holiday via trade, Horford came back in free agency, didn't
like
he?
a boomerang.
Yeah, he came back in free agency after going to Philly. But it's like they just have made these savvy moves that appear to be on the edges, but have been the biggest impacts that you could possibly ask for. Those 3 guys right there, and then you add the Kristaps Porzingis deal as well. And if he's healthy, all of a sudden maybe they are star driven, but the guy who can give you all of the highlights is never healthy for him. I mean, this conversation would be way different if Porzingis was healthy, because the unicorn can give you those plays, can give you those highlights, and is that style of player. All right, 503-864-6326. That's the Vancouver Ford text line. Your dollar goes further at Vancouver Ford. They treat you right before, during, and after the sale. Visit them online at vancouverford.com. Did you know you were being held hostage? You are. Next on The Fan.
Rob
They're talking
Right on time, baby.
Celtics.
Why don't you do your job, Will?
Do you know that you were being
it
held
was an
hostage?
important conversation
Whoa.
that you guys needed
We
to
were.
have.
Yeah, that is true. Did you all know we were being held hostage?
I plead the fifth.
Oh, okay. There is a trial regarding the NFL and its Sunday ticket, and there's some nuggets that are coming out of this that are making NFL fans go, oh, okay. We all think of the big bad networks because of ruining our sports viewing and our traditions in sports. Because obviously the networks are what tore apart college football and the money involved in the television networks. But now we're hearing testimony that the NFL is holding you hostage with the NFL Sunday ticket.
This should be the least surprising thing ever.
Yeah, the Sports Business Journal is doing a lot of reporting on this, as is Bloomberg. And there's some nuggets that have come out that that shows you the NFL really doesn't care about you. First of all, when they were taking bids for the NFL Sunday ticket, which ended up landing on YouTube, Apple TV said that they could increase viewership of the Sunday ticket by $15 to $20 million with the plan that they had that they were going to produce for the Sunday ticket and how it would be distributed to people. Make it more accessible. We see this all the time with Apple products, right? Where you buy a new iPhone, right? You can get Apple TV Plus.
Mhm.
You buy a new iPhone, hey, you can get a discount on the MLS season pass, right? Or you can get a U2 album on your phone that you didn't even ask for.
Hey, there you go.
That was still one of the weird ones. Super weird. But what
I think that was the downfall of iTunes.
you think that was it? They're like,
I-
I didn't want this U2.
I mean, honestly, that's why I went from to a little startup company called Spotify.
Or Pandora. Now, there is after the Apple said, hey, we can add 15 to 20 million new customers to Sunday Ticket.
Which that feels,
a
little bold.
Deposition recording was played in court where Robert Kraft was saying, we're not looking to get lots of people. We want to keep it as a premium offering. And that goes to, all right, we don't know the details on what Apple was putting out there for how much it was going to cost, but we do know what ESPN was going to be charging you if they would have landed Sunday Ticket. In this court case, they're saying ESPN proposed dropping the price down to $70 for the entire season with the option to buy a single team pass. So for us here in Oregon, right? You are a Raiders fan. I'm a Patriots fan. Will, who is your NFL team? Are you a Seahawks guy?
Seahawks.
You're a Seahawks guy. You wouldn't have to worry about this, okay? We could get our team every week, no matter what, for a discounted rate if we just bought the Raiders pass or the Patriots pass, and it would just be obviously something lower than $70 because every game would have been available via ESPN for $70, which is smoking hot deal.
Seems like a good deal to
I
me.
would have got that in an instant. There would have been no doubt. I'd be going, yep, $70. And I think you probably are looking at several million people are being on the same boat. Like, I could get every NFL game for $70.
For my team.
Yeah. I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah, especially out of market.
But they said they want it premium. So they went with YouTube. So instead of getting season pass or Sunday Ticket for $70 for the entire year, YouTube is going to charge $449 this year for the Sunday Ticket only. If you are a YouTube TV subscriber, it's about $100 less. So think of that. $70, basically $450. That's the difference, and that's the way the NFL wanted it. Because, and look, they're probably going to win this case. The NFL is.
We'll see.
Because of the fact that they can say every local market team you can get for free. No matter what. You got an antenna for your television, you can watch your local market team. For us here in Portland, it's the Seahawks, right? You can watch any Seahawks game you want. then they say, hey, we're giving you that offer. You can also get other games every week because it's not just Seahawks game. There's a CBS game and a Fox game. Usually there's a doubleheader on one of those networks. So where you can get up 3 to 4 games every Sunday, and then the fifth one being, or fourth to fifth one being that Sunday night football game. You can get a lot of games already. You can get Monday night football every week if you just have ESPN. You can get these games. What they are saying is like they want to keep it premium, and the slippery slope that the courts will have to say is, all right, does that restrict any other industry from charging what they want for a premium product? Does it cost, $250,000 for a Lamborghini? No. But if you'll pay for it, it will. And so they're going to say, yeah, we're going to let you charge whatever you want. You're missing out on customers, obviously, but I don't think it has a legal standing. What it does is it just tells the fans, they don't give a rip about you.
No, and then I think that's the big thing to take away from this is that as much as we care about distribution, this, that, and the other, they don't. They don't.
Yeah.
And they'd much rather have the class of fan that can afford it, which is a really interesting.
Which is so weird because it's more of a blue collar sport.
Exactly, and that's what I'm wondering, like why they're trying to go down this path, because I don't think you're maximizing revenue, but there's like this level of prestige tied to it that they're trying to generate. Again, we just talked about the NBA and how they're trying to navigate what they should and shouldn't do as far as how they market their product going forward. Player centric versus team centric. The NFL has been team centric for so long that their pivot is now team centric, but we want to go more like I think this is the F1ification of the NFL, where a prestige brand is becoming more mainstream. The NFL, the mainstream brand, is trying to become more prestige. I think that's there's a lot of copycatting. If you look at the NFL and what F1 has done, the Drive to Survive, which is very much Hard Knocksy, like this there's some copying being done across both leagues, as it were. And I think that's the NFL is looking at that and going, look how much money they're making and look how exclusive that sport is. Because it is. Remember the pricing at the racetracks for the food? $1,200 for a crab roll or lobster roll?
Was that what it was?
Yeah, it was insane. Absolutely insane prices. And the Monaco race. The millionaires are the poor there. Like the millionaires roll up in their sports cars. The billionaires roll up in their, one of a kind 1927 Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
That's the difference or they roll up in the 450-foot super yacht.
Exactly.
There's levels to this.
And they bring their shadow yacht in from where they dock the mega yacht
out in the deeper
That's
ocean.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because you can't bring that in.
No,
you have to keep that
you leave
out.
Octopussy out there.
And so you bring in the shadow yacht, the smaller yacht, still a yacht, but not 450 feet.
No.
This one is 150 foot one.
Both have a helipad. One of them can land a Chinook. The other one you could land a UH-1. It's the little tiny differences.
So you're looking at about 1.3 million is the estimation on Sunday Ticket subscribers right now. 1.3 million people are spending.
They're making $500 million on this.
But here's the deal.
Good God, man.
But how many more people would you get? They could make more money if you
that's
lowered
what I'm
it.
saying, but
if you
still.
lowered it down to $200, which is still, that's still, and I think you're talking to billionaires who really don't understand what $450
when
is.
you ask a billionaire how much does a banana cost? Yeah, what is it? I don't know, $9.
Yeah, you would probably get up to 6 or 7 million subscribers at $200 for the season.
Because $200, I'm not downplaying it, but if you do $200 over 5 months, that's easy. As far as if you're making a payment plan or whatever.
Yeah. And
you can justify a $40 a month expense. You know what I mean? That's not hard to do.
But if you were looking at it, so if you had $200 for the Sunday Ticket and you had 6 million subscribers, you'd be making $1.2 billion. And they're sitting there going, yeah, no, we're okay. We're okay with the $500 million that we're making right now. And that could be actually the next step for the NFL to make money, because right now, if you are flush with cash and you're making more money than you know what to do with the NFL right now, and as the cap is going up more and more and more, you wait until things kind of stall out, and then you cut that price down, and all of a sudden there's an extra $700 million right there.
I think the other part of this is, and this is under discussed business side of it, everything, is that these leagues, the NBA is like, they piecemealed out their deal, and the NFL does to an extent, but particularly the streaming companies, they want it centralized in their ecosystems because the data that they get is worth infinitely more than they pay for the rights.
No doubt.
It's not even close. And that's what the NFL is, because without seeing the contract, I would venture from discussions I've had with people who've done these deals is that there is a data sharing that takes place, whether it's Amazon or YouTube, with the entity that they're working with, in this case, the NFL. The data that Amazon gets from Thursday Night Football from its subscribers, because they know what you shop for, when you shop for, where you live, what your age is, everything. And it's
targeted ads based on what game you're watching.
Yes, and that data alone is worth its weight in gold to the NFL.
Buy this hoodie now that you just saw on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
Click.
We are maybe not even years away from that. Like, you use like the Google search now. Like if you see like
a shirt, you can
you
hold
can-
your finger on it and it'll be like,
it'll do the AI search on, like, we are not that far away from being able to do that on a live show.
which I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
No,
Like
look,
take my
I'm
information.
sitting here
I got
watching-
nothing to hide right now.
Yeah, they have all of mine already. I don't care. But like, I'm watching the U.S. Open right now, and there's a cool polo that a couple of guys have got on. I'm like, I want that polo. Look,
Let's see how much I can't afford that polo
Yeah.
by. Like the Tiger's wearing his Sunday red stuff.
$245 polo.
Yeah, nah, I'm good. It's cool to look at though, and at least I know how much it costs now.
Yeah.
There we go.
If you want to go a little bit cheaper, you can go the Adidas one.
Yeah, this will be fascinating to see where the NFL goes with this,
Mm-hmm.
and how much the premium content is. If you're getting 1.3 million subscribers to the Sunday Ticket, you ain't hurting yet. You're not hurting one bit based on the fact that you're getting $500 million for your Sunday Ticket subscribers. Will the NFL make it more accessible? That's going to be the big one. And I think there is an element, too, of the networks probably saying, no, we don't want it accessible for everybody until we can target the local ads, because the local networks, right, like Fox 12 and Coin 6, they get a big bump in local ratings because we're forced to watch it.
Yep.
And so the local stations get a little bit of that runoff, and they get a little bit of that goose right there
Little juice.
in their ratings.
Little juice for the goose.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Just if you're doing that, Fox and CBS, just give me good games here every week, okay?
Well, that's the problem.
I mean, can I just have good games every week?
No, because we live in the worst, literal worst possible place to get said good game.
God, but
The out of market good game is never on here. It drove me insane.
me
It
the
broke
good one.
it broke my back, and that's why I ended up getting the NFL Sunday Ticket.
Spinal.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the U.S. Open. Round 2 is underway, and hole number 5, boy, it's making the best golfers in the world look silly. Danny and Dusty on the Fan. fighting back today. Course is fighting back
Fighting
today.
back? Are you kidding me? They're throwing the first punch.
Yesterday, the course has been tough, and we knew it was going to be a gauntlet. But yesterday, the par 5 fifth hole, okay, had 74 pars, 60 birdies, and 9 eagles. Okay, only 13 bogeys and 0 double bogeys or worse in round 1. Today, we have seen the 5th hole fight back in the worst way possible. Okay, remember the stats I just gave you: 74, 60, and 13.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, today we have 1 eagle, 36 birdies, 55 pars, 11 bogeys, and 8 double bogeys or worse on a par 5 in professional golf. And this is, by the way,
how many snowmen do we have?
this is this is rated the 17th hole on the course. Second easiest course on the hole on the entire course is the par 5 fifth. And we have 8 double bogeys or worse and 11 bogeys on it so far today. The top 3 golfers in the world: Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler, and shoot, I'm forgetting who number 3 was. Oh god,
Schauffele?
yeah, Xander Schauffele. They combined to go 4 over on that hole today. The 3 best golfers in the world. We're seeing guys, and we just saw Will Zalatoris just hit the top of it, and he's in the mess right now too. Basically, this green, we talked about the turtle shell greens.
Mm-hmm. This thing is spitting them out like the Happy Gilmore clown.
I mean, it is ridiculous to
laughing at
see
them.
what these golfers are doing on this hole right now, because you have like this hard green where the pin placement is like on a ledge,
Mm-hmm.
and so you hit it 4 feet. And this happened today, I think, to Schauffele. He hit it 4 feet short of the hole, and he put too much backspin on it. 4 feet from the pin, a professional golfer, and he ended up 30 yards away.
Dustin Johnson tried to throw it up there from right off the fringe on the bottom of the hill. He left it short and it rolled right back to him. It was like, oh, I've been there before.
I saw today both Scotty Scheffler and Jordan Spieth had putter throws. I mean, Pinehurst is wrecking the best golfers in the world, and it's crazy because all of them expected it to happen. Like I was reading an interview with Bryson DeChambeau where he's like, I'm just ready to get eaten up by this course. And we talked about it on Tuesday, where it was Wyndham Clark, defending U.S. Open champion, said the greens are already borderline. On Tuesday, he's like, this is going to be hell on us because there's no rain in the forecast. And I'm sorry, you can put all the water you want on it in the morning. By the afternoon, these things are going to be baked out, and the scoring is going to go through the roof here.
The thing is, like, yeah, that hole's looking ridiculously tough. And you know, the turtle shell greens and all that. I get that. How the struggle there, that's like kind of like built into this. I have seen more top end golfers throw their drivers in this tournament than I can ever remember. And like, the fairways are tight.
Yeah.
But this isn't like the tightest course you've ever seen. It's not like there's trees encroaching everywhere. It's not like the sand is like making the fairways, they're like 10 yards wide. Like, there have been so many shanks off the tee box. You almost wonder if like golfers are thinking about getting to the green, and they're, I don't know, just laying an egg on stuff. And it's both hilarious and very fun to watch them fall apart and just be like, huh, what's that like? I bet you haven't had that in a while.
Yeah, great. We did get a hole in one today.
Oh, did we?
Sepp Straka on the 9th hole, par 3. He dunked a hole in one, and that's always cool to see, and to see the reactions. He hit it way short, rolled up, just
kept
dropped
on
in.
going.
But this comes after, on the 3rd hole, he hit an approach shot, and it hit the pin. And after it hit the pin, it hit the green, and it rolled back like 30 yards. He ended up triple bogeying. He went from, he literally hit the
the pin.
base of the pin, like it was
Oh,
almost
like it had
like
a chance to go
dunk.
in? Oh, God.
And it bounced out and it went so far he ended up triple bogeying.
The shot was so good that it had to fall apart.
Yeah. So I mean,
Wow.
and that's where these golfers are saying heading into the tournament, it's like good shots will be rewarded, but there's almost like if you hit too good of a shot, you may get penalized for it. And I don't know, Terrell Hatton, he's an Irishman.
Not on my list of known golfers.
He's known to let it rip and drop some F-bombs.
Mm.
And he is like known as a hothead.
Okay.
He's given 2 all-timer interviews. After round 1, he basically said, now everybody else knows how I feel when I golf because they're all getting so pissed on the course. And then today, he had about 1:35 seconds of just straight bangers during his press conference.
In the past about some setups that you feel like don't, properly reward good shots. How would you describe the setup this week? Do you feel like they've got it right?
Yeah, so far, there's some greens where, I bet not many people hit the 8th green today. For the most part, I didn't have anything to moan about other than myself.
When have you been your happiest this week?
Probably after dessert that the chef's been doing this week in the house. I'm sharing with Fitzy, and he always has a chef for the majors, and I'm in my happy place there.
What was the dessert?
Last night we had peanut butter brownies. The night before that he did a chocolate mousse with orange shortbread. Off the charts good.
Do you have any idea how much you've been fined over the years for your outbursts?
I think you'd actually be shocked because you're thinking it's ridiculous amounts. Now don't get me wrong, it's still a lot of money, but it is nowhere near. So I'll give me your best guess.
100,000.
Mate, you are not even close.
Higher?
Not even in. I think even with the DP World Tour, I reckon I haven't reached double digits. Oh, yeah. Still quite a bit of money, but it's nowhere near where you were saying.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Cyril. Good luck this week.
I probably shot myself in the foot now. I'll get an absolute rascal one this weekend.
I said Irish. He's English. He's English.
Mm.
Okay. I appreciate that out of the PGA Tour, though. And he's saying even with the DP World Tour in there, his outbursts, he'll drop some pretty colorful language out on the course.
Yeah.
He'll do a toss. They understand what golf will do to a human being. And I think that
they give him the Maurice Lucas fine.
In a lot of sports, the people levying the fines, they don't understand the frustration that an NBA player or an NFL player goes through, right? I think the NFL has gotten a little bit softer when Merton Hanks was taking over all of the fine scaling, right? Because it was we need somebody in here maybe that understands kind of what's going on when you're on the field and you're in the heat of battle. There isn't a person in the world that has been on a golf course that doesn't understand what they're going through.
Throw a club or break one of your knees.
It's that's about that. Yeah, that's a $20 fine right there. I mean, you may have told an old woman to go F off, but I saw what that course did to you. That putt should have dropped. You're right. You're right, Hatton.
Yeah, I know. I saw that your ball hit that acorn and it bounced in a manner that never, ever should have been physically possible. And yet here you are.
Yeah. Yeah. The happiest he's been all week is dessert. I think we've all had rounds like that.
Chocolate mousse with some orange shortbread?
Yeah. And right now he's T10. He's T10.
Look at that.
Yeah, he was 1 over today. He was 2 under yesterday. So he is sitting 1 under par, tied for 10th. He's in the thick of it. And look, yesterday people were going, hey, whoa, 5 under. That's pretty deep. Right now, Ludwig Oberg is the leader at 5 under par through 9 holes. It's playing backwards, and it's going to get nothing but tougher as we get set for the weekend.
Coming up next for our worst day on the web. What's the worst and or dumbest thing you could call the cops for? But first, here's Big Will Betts with the Sports Center update.
It's you. Dusty on Odyssey and 1080 The Fan.
Oh, really? That sucks.
There's a lot of good reasons to call 911. There's also a lot of really bad reasons.
All right, what do we got? I mean, good ones are you're in danger.
Sure.
Somebody's injured.
You're trying to help somebody out, you know?
That's right. What are the bad ones?
I don't know.
I spilled hot coffee on my lap.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Well, I mean, even then, you could have a very severe burn, depending on what you burn. You know? That could be an actual emergency.
Yep.
But you are not supposed to call the police because the house that you share, like a boarding house, stinks next door because somebody isn't cleaning up their litter box.
Wait, okay, so you're like in a duplex?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in a duplex. You have a shared wall. Next door neighbor's house stinks.
Yep, stankiness.
I think landlord would be a good place if you're renting.
Probably.
Landlord.
Probably be a good place to start.
If you own, usually you got an HOA in those areas. That would be good. Non-emergency line, also a good place to call.
Quick Googling.
But that place must really stink if it's seeping through the walls.
The man reported to or called the Atlanta Police Department. And the Atlanta Police Department has put out an advisory to remind people what 911 is for. The recording goes as such. I'm calling because the cat got the house smelling bad, ma'am. She trying to burn incense in here, and it's not getting better. It's getting worse, the smell, and it makes me sick to my stomach. I pay rent. I live here, ma'am.
Okay, landlord. This is where the first call needs to go. Landlord, not 911.
The 911 operator responds, "You're saying a cat in the house is making," and before he could finish, or they could finish their sentence. "Yeah, it's a cat that she got living. This is a rooming house, ma'am. This is not her house." The man goes on to explain that unlike the woman's previous cat, which was allowed to go outside, the current cat is not allowed outside. The previous cat died. The man said he buried it for her, but she had a new cat the very next day.
Wait a minute. So this is not the next place over. He lives with somebody with the cat?
No, it's like a.
So it is their neighbor.
Yeah, it's like a.
That kind of made it sound like she's living in there with him.
Well, no, it's a boarding house, so it's like
a townhouse.
Kind of, yeah, like
they share walls.
Yes, that's more what we're talking about. So maybe not a true duplex. But
okay.
Like probably like a central hallway, almost like a motel situation.
Right.
But he goes on to say she's not changing the cat pan stuff in there like she should, and this house stank, ma'am.
At least he's honest.
Operator then responded that
cat people, man.
Yes, cat perverts.
Cat perverts.
The police are on their way, and they take the issue up with them.
See, and this is not a good use of police time.
No.
Like, this is ridiculous use of police time.
This is Exhibit 13,426 of things that cops have to deal with that they shouldn't have to.
I'll also go as far as to say the incense to cover it up.
That kind of makes me want to puke.
That makes it worse. I hate incense.
In general.
Like, they are just... It's too much for me. I've always gotten headaches around incense, and that became a problem in college. There's a lot of incense being burned.
Oh,
in
no
Ashland.
way! A little frankincense and myrrh.
In Ashland, there's a lot of incense
Just
being
like
burned.
a hobby they do there.
Nah, just hippies.
So what they do in the A?
Don't. Nobody calls it that. Nobody calls it that.
Peace up, A-Town down.
The A-Town is A-Town. They do call it the A. No.
I've also heard the dirty A.
No.
Oh.
No.
I mean,
good
Ashland.
Fit. Good fit.
A lot of things get burned there.
Incense, though, no way. Incense to cover cat poop, way worse.
And cat poop is a particular kind of smell.
Yeah.
It is. Honestly, look, I don't.
Cat pee, I think, is worse.
Oh yeah, it is. I'm just gonna say this: if you have a cat and you have a litter box, we're probably not friends. Cats need to be outdoor cats. Like they can be inside, they can sleep inside. They need to have access to the outdoors.
I have no problem with if you have indoor cat litter boxing it, but at the same time,
it always smells awful.
You've got to clean it up, and you got to put it in a space that you can't. If you're in anywhere where you have communal living like this situation, you can't be having a cat with the litter box. And the fact that I'm glad he mentioned this. Cat dies, he buries it for her in the backyard,
and then
the next day,
God, have a mourning period.
Wow,
that's not real love.
See, that's cat people though. Cat people will do that.
Yeah, they're machines
and
inhuman stink piles.
Needs the companionship, obviously. Clean out that poop box though. That poop box has got to be cleaned daily.
Have you seen the robot poop box?
Yeah.
That's weird.
But those still don't. I mean, those still don't work that well. That's
what's going to cause the robots to take over the world. Is they're going to be like, "Oh, you made me to pick up poop?"
Oh, we're not doing that anymore.
It's like full on Rick and Morty. What's my purpose?
That's what I'd be.
You serve butter.
I don't know that.
Oh God,
I got it. I know what you're talking about.
I don't know that one. I'm not a Rick and Morty guy.
Oh God, I'll get that clip for you.
Need to talk to my nephew.
Shout out the comps though, who said, "While we
Arrested
appreciate
him
the
and
trust
the cat.
you place in our services, we kindly remind everyone that 911 was reserved for emergencies of a serious nature. Let's maintain our sense of humor while keeping our priorities straight. Non-urgent matters are best resolved through friendly discussions and not emergency lines."
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. The more that I unpack that, it kind of did seem like an emergency for this guy. You know.
That's the problem is like we have a sliding scale of like what individual emergencies are. There's no such thing as your truth on the emergency line. It's either an actual emergency or not. It's not interpretive emergency.
I feel like this is not I mean, because firemen get cats out of trees, I feel like the fire department maybe should have handled this call, not the police. You know, because they could just hose the whole room out with water.
I would love to see that high pressure hose just turned on the room. Problem solved.
Gotcha. Got the incense and the cat poop problem figured out. One good blast with this bad boy, you're good.
Here's the number for Serve Pro. That's a nice. You know what? That's a nice little racket they could have going.
That's right.
I like where that's going. You know, it's the little things in life. You know. All right, coming up next. There's been a little bit of a pivot in the college basketball space into a whole lot of money. The going rate for a transfer going up. We'll get to that and more here on Danny and Dusty, 1080 The Fan.
We're feeling a draft.
Shams Charania today said or broke the news that sources that Illinois transfer Coleman Hawkins, a 6'10" forward, is committing to play for Kansas State in what has become the nuclear arms race in college basketball in the transfer portal of moving around higher end prospects that are either looking to transfer from a lower tier school or a new or a coach leaving or a higher monetary opportunity to return to college and not opting for the NBA, which you've seen with a couple guys, Alex Caravan going back to UConn when I've talked to a lot of folks that seem to believe that he would have been at worst a very early second, but probably a end of the first round pick. Today, Coleman Hawkins is signing a $2 million NIL deal with basketball superpower Kansas State?
That doesn't sound right. But I mean, also you have to remember though, Jerome Tang, who stepped in, former high school coach of Lamar Hurd.
There you
go. Jerome Tang stepped in they were the 3 seed in his first year there 2 years ago.
And the Big 12 is looking to be the basketball super conference.
And they have to keep up with the Joneses. And if the Big 12 is going to be a basketball-centric conference, being good at basketball is going to be very important because then that gives you more sway and more power within your own conference. We all know who the basketball power is in that conference. Oh, it's Kansas. And it's their rival. And I think that this is what you're going to see, and I think that people go, oh, $2 million. Well, if you have a team that you feel is ready, is going to be returning a lot of guys, and you are going to be competitive, that's how you fill your spots. And in basketball, it'll be different than in football, where you need one guy, and you have a pool of money. Now, that pool of money usually with the collectives is not very high for basketball. But if you're going to go and say, all right, we're going to push all in one position, go give that new acquisition money to one guy. And that's what they did. I mean,
it's 12 versus 85.
Yeah.
Players versus, roster size.
I mean, if we're being honest, collectives are not giving money to 85 guys
on
the football team.
Yeah,
but
no,
it is
the opportunity
really,
cost.
It's probably 3 as opposed to 25.
Which is it's a big difference, and it can drive the numbers up.
It's huge because only 3. If you give a bulk of your money to 3 guys from the collective on your basketball team, that's kind of where your focus is going to be. For football, you're going both sides of the ball and a couple role players that you're going to be there with the collective as far as new talent acquisitions go. People are like, oh my God, I'm so surprised. Are we? He's one of the better players in the portal this year. And if you have a need to fill, teams are obviously going to become desperate and they're going to sign. We see it in free agency all the time in sports. It may come as a brief shock, but I think that's kind of the world that we're living in, is that it's Kansas State, right? We're surprised that they have $2 million to spend, but I'm not surprised that a team gets desperate and throws a ton of money out at one individual player, because if he's going to be the guy that can change your fortunes in the Big 12, which is going to be, that conference is going to be a gauntlet to go through basketball wise.
No, and you have to have your S together,
especially with Arizona now in it.
Decent basketball school.
Decent basketball program.
They won't win a title, but they'll be really good during regular season.
That's right. Well, they'll get you in the regular season, then lose in the round of 32.
Did you see the report about Urban Meyer?
No.
There's a former Texas wide receiver back in 2000, B.J. Johnson. He was a part of the crazy Texas recruiting class with Roy Williams. He has said that during a high school visit when Urban Meyer was at Notre Dame, that he locked him in an office at his high school and said, okay, BJ, how much? How much is it going to cost to get you here? And this is about a grander discussion of NIL, but it's also been very funny to watch Ohio State and Michigan fans both kind of go back and forth with this.
Yeah, as if Michigan was so clean and never would ever do anything like that.
On the up and up, always.
This is why I said this yesterday, and it rings true, and I've been saying this for a long time. You're just hearing about the numbers now.
It's always been going on.
It always has been. If you want to say it's ruining college sports,
But then it ruined it 40 years ago.
no, it's just you didn't want to acknowledge or believe that it was actually happening. And there's so many schools that are like, my school would never. Yeah,
they
did.
Not the Southern Methodist University. That's the upstanding religious school.
It doesn't matter who you are or where you were. It was just what levels you were willing to go to.
It's the difference between a Hellcat and maybe a pet cat.
That's right. But it was happening.
Yeah.
It was happening. And
we'll cover your litter box.
Just like, and this is this thing that it bothers me with NIL too, is that it's not every player.
No.
And it was never every player on teams either. Like it never has been. It's always a select few on every team. Those are the ones that were getting money. Now, are more guys getting money now? Hell yeah. And I'm for it.
Yeah.
I am for it.
I'd rather them get the money than the administrators. Absolutely.
And get a coach who's going to leave in next year anyways for the next thing that's flashy? Yeah.
Totally fine.
Absolutely.
Totally fine. All right, coming up in hour number 3, there are some massive free agent decisions that are going to shape the face of and the stylings of the NBA for the next couple of years as the new CBA goes into place and guys are looking at the end of their contracts. That and more on Danny and Dusty, 1080 The Fan. Whether you're listening on 1080 AM, watching along on youtube.com/1080am the fan, or twitch.tv/1080am the fan, we appreciate you. We love you. And thanks for riding along with us. It's that time of year, Dusty. Free agency is quickly approaching in the NBA, and things might get a little bit more explosive than folks are willing to give it credence to, as you can witness here with Brian Windhorst on Pat McAfee.
The other thing he could do is he could go to the Clippers and make what I would call the Chris Paul. The Chris Paul did with the Clippers like 7-8 years ago, when he said, here's what's going to happen. I'm either going to walk away for nothing, or you're going to trade me to where I want to be traded. And then he would opt into his contract, opt into that player option, get traded to a team. That way the Clippers could get assets back and then sign an extension with that new team when the time comes down the line.
That's Brian Windhorst of ESPN talking about Paul George and his current positioning, as it were, in the NBA. Windhorst also goes on to talk about LeBron James, who is very likely to opt out of his contract. Does that mean he's going to leave? No, but it's a position of power and leverage. When you have that player option at the end of your deal as an older player, it is probably the most powerful position a player has in the league if they're still the high-end player like Paul George and LeBron James are.
Well, the LeBron, he should do it because he has the Lakers bent over, and the Lakers have no other option to give them exactly what he wants because of the situation that they put themselves in with the cap, which that should be of no surprise to anybody because we've been talking about that with their head coaching search ad nauseum because we even heard about the text message that Dan Hurley received from LeBron, which said, we'll see if I'm there, And that's what Hurley's like, yeah, okay, definitely not going there now.
Yeah.
He's going to use it as a leverage play. He's going to get a max deal. But I think it's really interesting that we are actually at a point now where you look at LeBron James and his pending free agency. Paul George is probably going to be is the guy that is more intriguing to me because if he does leave, and he should leave the Clippers at this point, if he goes to Philly, all of a sudden Philly looks incredible. And if they can cut the fat of Tobias Harris and bring in Paul George,
it's a hell of a swap.
That is an incredible swap for a Philly team that Tobias Harris was unplayable for them. And now you could add Paul George, and look, playoff P is a thing. He's bucked that as of more
when he's been
recently.
On the floor, he's been very productive.
Yeah, but it was really bad when he dubbed himself playoff P.
Can't give yourself your own nickname, which is why
do
still the whole Black Mamba thing I think is dumb with Kobe.
Can't do it. But I think if he lands at a place like Philly, and what are really Paul George's options at that point outside of Philadelphia, which does have the salary slot, Detroit, if you're just looking to get paid, right? Because Paul George does not make them a contender in the Eastern Conference.
No. God, no.
But that's a money play. Would Houston be an opportunity for Paul George? Because they've got a salary slot that they could, and Ime Udoka and Paul George, I mean, he may be a little bit too much of a hard ass for Paul George, but it could work there.
If you look at how things are shaping up.
Paul George to Portland.
There you go. This time, Bob. Now's when he comes here. There's been a weird thing out there of Paul George being open to returning to Indiana on a lesser deal.
Oh, that would be
Halliburton,
silly.
PG, Siakam, Turner. Now, what would end up happening there is it would be that sign and trade, and the Clippers would get Nembhard. I don't think they'd get Jarris Walker. I think they'd try to hold on to him. But Nembhard, Mathurin would probably be kind of the pieces acquired there, and then some salary filler on the back end.
That would be filthy.
But that's a top end that's pretty damn good. And Paul George is a guy that has shown he can play off the ball. Like, absolutely unequivocally. He can do that. And I think that would quickly make Indiana would they be I don't know if they'd be a title favorite, but they'd be a title contender.
I mean, hell, they'd be an Eastern Conference contender again. I mean, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. You look at
healthy Halliburton.
Boston will be really damn good next year. I think by health, you hope that Milwaukee will be really damn good again next year. Philly, by health, could be really good again next year, and that gives a little bit more balance to the East and the West, because I think that we had this conversation earlier about the Boston Celtics and why they're not getting the credit that we usually see teams of this magnitude of dominance get. I also think that a lot of people are going, well, you had to go through the Eastern Conference. Not paying any attention to the fact they are going to sweep the team that was the last team standing out of the West in the Dallas Mavericks, but that's just kind of the lot in life, in that with the injuries that had mounted up in the East, and look, Cleveland's young core. I mean, Donovan Mitchell pending, and hopefully he does sign that extension there, and you do see a little bit more time given. But Cleveland could make a big swing if they move on from, if they look at Mitchell and Garland and say, this is not going to be the backcourt pairing that gets us over the top, because of the fact that they it has a little bit different style, but a Dame and CJ feeling about it, where you have two styles that don't work together. They're not the same styles as either one of those players, but their two styles don't really work together very well. If they move on from Darius Garland after Mitchell signs an extension, or hell, they could make a sign and trade and sign the extension with Mitchell and then deal him somewhere else. Cleveland's going to be really dang good next year too. Yes. I mean, the nuts and bolts of an Eastern Conference being solid is there. Sure. And then Julius Randle comes back for the Knicks next year too.
Well, and 3 of the top 4 salaries slots that are available in the NBA are in the East. Detroit has $64 million in cap space. Philly 55. Orlando essentially 49.5.
Orlando.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul George does not fit that book at all, because they have so many damn bigs, though.
Yeah, but
if it's a sign-in trade,
but I mean, even then, he's just a wing. What do they need? They need shooting, and what do they love? Size. If all of a sudden you're running out Markelle Fultz, Paul George, Franz Wagner, or Jonathan Isaac, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, like Banchero's like your de facto 5, or if you're going
ridiculously
Paul George, Franz, Paolo, Wendell Carter, you're going 6'4", 6'8", 6'10", 6'10", 6'11". Just big as hell.
That'd be scary.
I mean, they could do it. Be terrifying. They'd have Jonathan Isaac coming off the bench.
Yeah, but I also look at Paul George and I go,
11?
Is Paul George the shooter that they need?
I mean, he's an incredible shooter.
I know he is. I know he is, but do they need the knockdown pure shooter? Because Paul George, he can shoot threes. Will the offense work and make sense around him, though?
I think Paul George doesn't get the credit that he deserves as a player, particularly as not only just a scorer, but as a shooter. He is a career 44, 39, 86 guy. Career.
Pretty damn good.
That's shooting the hell out of the ball, the volume that he shoots. Like, legitimately, you take a look at the way his career has gone. His uptick, last 4 years, basically, he's shot 8 threes a game at around a 39% field goal percentage from 3.
And it's been climbing up every year. His 3-point attempts have gone up and up and up. He was, 8 this past year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's good volume for Paul George.
Yeah, I mean, his 3-point percentage of the last few years, 41, 41, 35, it was injured season, 37, 41.
Yeah. Do they have the creators around him, though, that gives him those kick-out looks, though?
I think that's the other thing. He's a guy who can be a guy who can, number one, create his own shot off the dribble, but also you're talking about Franz and Paolo. Guys that big, strong creators. Like Paolo, the big thing that Cleveland said was like, we're going to collapse on you because nobody around you can shoot. If all of a sudden Paolo's kicking out to a guy like Paul George, that's terrifying.
That's nice.
Now, is one guy solve everything? Probably not, but I think it's an interesting fit.
Yeah, it puts you in a matchup nightmare if you're that big.
But again, we talked to
shooting guard Paul George.
Yeah, I mean, 6'8", 2 guard to be super nice. And remember, Paul's PG's a great defender.
Yeah,
it's an all defense kind of guy.
I love Paul George.
Yeah,
and that's the
thing. He's a little corny, but man, he's a damn good player.
He doesn't get any of the credit he deserves either, because you hear time and time again, young players in the NBA say they want to model their game after Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
Paul George.
A lot
not
of them is,
LeBron, not Steph, Paul George.
Because he does everything. He plays defense. He puts the ball on the floor. Like, there's a smoothness to his game. There's a lot of stuff there. All right, you put some work into some naming rights across all of college football. We're going to get into that and more coming up here on Danny and Dustin, Kenny the Fan. fraction of cash flows from private equity. Could be
Maybe.
kinda cool.
Maybe. You never know.
But there's a world out there where the Big 12 becomes the All-State 12. That sounds terrible. So terrible, in fact, that you decided to take it upon yourself and find sponsors that made the most sense.
Yeah,
for each
absolutely.
conference.
Chris Vanini of The Athletic is reporting that now you're looking at not just the Conference USA, which was reported yesterday, but also the American and the Mountain West conferences are all planning and in negotiations and conversations with potential sponsorship companies for naming rights. And so I don't want to go to the All-State Big 12 or the All-State 12. That is not, I don't like that. I think we need to have something that makes sense with the conferences themselves. And that if the conferences and the teams that are aligned, if they don't make sense, at least the damn name of the conference should.
Yes.
So, without
here
further ado, I have my definitive list of conference in their sponsorship names.
Go on.
I think it makes only sense that the SEC is sponsored by Waffle House.
Yes.
The Waffle House Southeastern Conference, it makes all the sense in the world.
They should do the SEC on the jerseys in the Waffle House print.
Like in the little yellow
Yellow
squares.
boxes.
That's what I'm talking about. There, you can throw, it's a stone's throw from any campus to a Waffle House in the SEC.
I think Sicko's committee did a rankings of SEC schools closest to Waffle Houses, if I remember right.
They do that with everything.
They did it with Taco Bell. I think they did it with Waffle House too.
I'm going to go, so SEC, the Waffle House, that is a no-brainer, slam dunk.
That's the easiest one on this list, I think, by far.
The Big 12, All-State, you're out. Whataburger, you're in. Okay? There is a territorial love for Whataburger that spans throughout the Big 12.
Entirely.
Where you have Central Florida. Okay? There is a Whataburger in Florida. You have Arizona has Whataburgers. I think the only state that currently does not have a Whataburger in the Big 12 footprint is Utah. I looked this up, by the way. And Whataburger is in every state that the Big 12 plays in. The Whataburger Big 12, I'm in. And that makes sense. It's branding that works for the athletic departments. Who doesn't love a good burger? Oh, everybody loves a good burger. Whataburger Big 12, it kind of rolls off the tongue too.
Also, Whataburger coming to Utah in a few years, a headline from a Utah news station just a month ago.
Bingo.
They knew.
They knew. They saw conference realignment. They're like, yeah, we got to get one of these in.
They knew.
We got to get one of these in. The Big Ten, look, Big Ten's hard. You go from New Jersey to
California.
Oregon. Like, I mean, you are spanning the entire country with this.
Tough.
It's a really tough one. So, a lot of travel. I'm going, the headquarters of the Big Ten are in Indianapolis, Indiana. So is Cummins. The Cummins Big Ten. Go big. We're going big. We're going to long haul truck drive this bad boy. We're going the Cummins Big 12 here.
Could have gone with the Come and Go.
Huh? Not in Oregon. Not on the West Coast. Come and Go isn't on the West Coast. Can't
What about
have
Pilot?
it. Huh?
Pilot.
Pilot Flying J. Biggest booster. University of Tennessee. Pilot Flying J.
You're right.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's also the governor of Tennessee.
Well, Tennessee is the pilot
and the owner of the
SEC.
Cleveland Browns.
Well, I was thinking Flying J and Jubitz. I got them backwards.
Yeah.
Jubitz is actually here.
We could have Jubitz.
Yeah, Jubitz is in Oregon.
Could be Jubitz. The ACC, I found this one to be quite simple for me. I'm going Brookdale.
What's Brookdale?
Brookdale is the nation's largest assisted living and retirement home company because, I mean, the ACC is on their deathbed. So get your money while you can. And think of where the ACC schools are. Okay? You go to Florida. You are in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. A lot of retirement communities. The Bay Area, retirement communities.
A lot of folks dying off.
Brookdale, ACC. Conference USA. This one was hard for me. Conference USA, you have no idea who's in the Conference USA. I knew Liberty is in the Conference USA because Oregon played them in the Fiesta Bowl this past year. I knew New Mexico State was in Conference USA because they played Liberty in the conference championship game. Outside of that, it's hard to figure out who is in Conference USA. Jacksonville State, Western Kentucky, Middle Tennessee, Louisiana Tech, Sam Houston State, UTEP, Florida International. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense.
So you went with?
I don't know what it is. It scares me. It doesn't make sense. Hugging Face. Hugging Face is an AI company.
That's an AI tool, isn't it?
Yeah. Hugging Face is an AI tool. Is it Meta? No. Is it Alphabet? No. Is it Tesla? No. So it's like a few tiers down, but it's AI, which is scary. It doesn't make sense, and I don't understand it.
You might find out about it on Tuesday night.
That you see? See what I'm talking about?
On Trivia Night.
Conference USA.
Okay.
Hugging Face,
Yep.
Conference USA.
Yep.
Mountain West, In-N-Out. That one
Easy.
makes sense. That
Easy.
one makes sense. If we're going Whataburger, okay, for the Big 12, Mountain West, you got In-N-Outs in every state, okay? Boom.
Greatness.
Roasted. Sun Belt, Piggly Wiggly.
Oh, that's a good one.
Piggly Wiggly in the Sun Belt. It's right where all the Piggly Wigglies are. Grocery store chain. When I think of Sun Belt, the Fun Belt, okay, things get a little weird. They play on Tuesdays. They play on Wednesday
Well,
nights.
2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Sun Belt gets weird.
Piggly's
And
24 is
I think
ours,
of,
isn't it?
I think of fried food too. I think of like you're going to the store, you're going to load up, go to the tailgate. We're going to the Piggly Wiggly. Is it your Kroger? No. Is it a Fred Meyer? No.
Yeah,
It's a Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly's 24 hours.
See?
What about
There we go.
Buc-ee's?
Buc-ee's is very isolated. Buc-ee's is small. Like there's not Buc-ee's footprint is not very large. A Buc-ee's would be a good one.
I thought it was like the whole South.
No.
Which like the Sun Belt kind of hits.
Kinda. But I believe Buc-ee's is more in Texas, Arkansas.
I thought my mom went
If
to
I'm
it in like
correct.
the Carolinas.
There are 48 total Buc-ee's.
Yeah, and I think
They're
all
in
of
7
them.
states and 41 cities. 77% of them are in Texas.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Buc-ee's it's more regional.
Very regional.
To the. It's not the Fun Belt, but Buc-ee's I've heard is amazing.
HEB? Could have gone HEB,
Ooh,
perhaps.
Yeah, could have gone there. That would have been a good one.
Or Menards.
The Mac, Miller High Life.
Mm.
It's drunk. It's very Midwestern.
Yes.
Just like Miller is. I didn't want to go Miller Lite. Didn't want to go MGD.
Okay.
They're living the high life in the Mac because the Mac is where weird happens. and
Would
I
there be
love it.
pushback against the alcohol branding?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably, but that pales in comparison to what I have for the Pack 2.
Well, you could have gone Mac. You could have gone with Mac Tools.
Yeah, could have gone Mac Tools or Mac and Cheese Kraft.
Little
we
on
could
the
have gone.
nose.
We
Yeah,
could have gone the
cheesiness.
Kraft Mac and Cheese Maction
You could
going
have-
on there.
You swap it out, and go just keep it totally Midwestern and
Yep.
go maybe a sausage. Little sausage sponsorship. Johnsonville.
Like a summer sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'm there.
But I mean,
I'm there,
we're the same circle. Mac and cheese, summer sausage, Miller High Life. We're all in the same world.
You're living that game. And then for the Pack 2, Death Row Records, because Tupac. You
Yeah,
know?
100%.
Death
Also,
Row Records.
Shout
Pack
out
2.
to the Death Row Records moving truck that I've seen like 3 times in the past month out
Yeah,
here.
isn't that weird?
It is a
Where's
trip.
that coming
I
from?
don't no idea. Like
There's one driving around this area.
yes, and it's not like it's like a little sticker. It's like no. Somebody spent a lot of money, or it's legitimately a Death Row Records truck.
Yeah.
Like it's like it's got like the California address and phone number and everything on it, and it's like a 10x8 sticker.
They're
decal.
still in business. Death Row Records still has artists? Question mark.
I don't know.
There's no way.
I don't know.
He's
I
been
doubt
in
it.
jail forever.
I doubt it. Suge Knight?
Suge, yeah.
He's doing interviews from prison. Sure, he can run a business.
Well, I mean, I know some people.
Technically does still exist.
Just like the Pack 2. It technically still exists.
Snoop Dogg is actually the owner.
Boom. You tell me Snoop
owns
wouldn't want a piece of this?
You know
he
what
owns
else?
the rights. He's acquired the Death Row Records brand from MNRK Music Group.
Snoop, Washington State, Oregon State, legal.
Well, also not only
Mm-hmm.
that, Snoop's uncle
Yeah.
Rico has been out here for
Roscoe's
Roscoe's.
ribs. Yeah.
I always get the Ricos and the on the side of the road and
Yeah.
below us.
So it all works. It's
Yeah.
all coming up. These names work. In the American Athletic Conference, that one is a really hard one because it's all over the place.
Arby's.
Close.
Because no one cares about it.
I went with Pop-Tarts because they sponsor a bowl.
Ooh.
Could you imagine the Pop-Tart American Conference?
Yes. Also, we get to see a live Pop-Tart get eaten over and over again.
Yeah.
I want to see that happen every year.
Jerry Seinfeld is the commissioner.
Yeah, that's right. Pop-Tarts. In frosted Pop-Tarts.
From the Vancouver Ford text lines, for all the teams that have moved through the Mountain West, could there be a better name than the In-N-Out Conference?
Exactly. That's what I'm going with here.
I mean, it's pretty spot on. I'm not gonna lie. Well done, good sir.
Yeah, thank
Well
you.
done.
Oh yeah, Rio's Uncle Rio, not Roscoe.
Not Rock.
Rio's
Rico.
ribs.
I was so close.
Rico, Roscoe.
Rico's the case that you get.
Rio. Yep, there we go. I think we're good there.
Yeah.
I think we got it. So
I think that's a successful launch for this.
we have the Waffle House SEC,
which is by far the easiest.
Whataburger Big 12,
Pretty good.
the Cummins Big 10,
Mm.
Brookdale Retirement Assisted Living
Better
ACC.
than the Big Ten Cummins.
The Hugging Face Conference USA, because it doesn't make sense. It terrifies me, as does AI, and it's not the top tier. Mountain West In-N-Out, Piggly Wiggly for the Sun Belt, Miller High Life Mac, Pop-Tarts AAC, and the Pac-2 Death Row Records.
Hum, babe.
Because it technically exists.
It technically exists. Somebody owns it.
Bam!
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen.
This is how I spend my time.
Golf clap.
This
You
is
were
how
very
I spend
excited about this.
This is how I spend my time.
No, it's very good.
These are what my days consist of.
I like where your wheels are spinning here. Speaking of spinning wheels, Big Will Betts was spinning his wheels coming up with this week's edition of Awe. We'll get to that and more, but first, here's Big Will Betts himself with the Sports Center update.
This is a U.S. Open.
time for the greatest game show that has ever existed in the history of at least 1080 The Fan in this particular hour. Big Will Betts, what do you got for us?
All right, so I'm starting off with a sports-based question, and then we're getting real Father's Day.
I like it. I like it.
All right, so for your first most likely to sweep Boston over the Mavs,
or
the Panthers over the Oilers.
Wendy went ether on Luka, so I think they have a little bit of pride tonight.
Luka made a promise tonight.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say Florida because they have just mopped the floor with the Oilers.
When you have a goalie playing that well,
Bobrovsky.
No way. No way. I'm gonna go with the Panthers as well. I wholly expect both of them, but the dominance has been sliding towards the favor of the Panthers. Because 4-3 does not indicate how lopsided last night's game was.
It was a butt kicking. We're going to get into the Father's Day questions now. Better sporting event to watch.
Ooh.
Either be at and attend, or you can go watch from your couch, whatever you prefer. It is Father's Day. You as a father get to choose. Is it the U.S. Open?
or
Is it going to your local favorite MLB team's home game?
I mean, this one depends on who your dad is, right? My dad would be going to a baseball game. So
Mine too.
I would say going to a baseball game. It's wherever you have those memories and wherever you make those memories. For a lot of guys, it'll be go on the golf course, right? In golfing with dad. My dad, not a golfer, always just told me, hey, be good at golf. You'll need to.
It's good for you.
It's good to have. But going to baseball games, it was the highlight of every kid's childhood that went to games with their dad, and I'm no different. I love going to games with my dad.
Yep, I'm with you too. My earliest sports memory is at Dodger Stadium with my dad. So that'd be it.
I don't even know if we'd go anywhere. Like, I think we just sit on the couch and just flip back and forth.
Also
knowing
allowed,
your dad's field day views, I can see
Not
this
surprising.
as being a truth.
You guys are just haters.
I am.
The great Tom Mortner would not have this.
Look,
well, I think it's your dad. That's
Tom
a hater.
Mortner has done a relatively decent job of raising you to this point.
That's debatable.
Yes, you didn't have a lot to work with.
To be non-field day elementary school PE teacher is a bridge too far.
Who knows? Maybe it was the boosters keeping him down.
Maybe. We need to get to the bottom of it.
Next for Father's Day, should dad grill all the food on Father's Day, or is it up to the family to cook for dad or buy dad's favorite takeout?
It's what dad wants.
It's what dad wants.
Whatever
Look,
dad wants. It's the whole idea. Mother's Day, everybody's like, oh, it's whatever mom wants. It's like, why is it because it's Father's Day it gets twisted? It's whatever dad wants.
But this is usually what happens is like dad likes steak, we'll get steak. I'm not leaving that to anybody else in my family.
Which if dad wants to cook, yeah.
They cannot be trusted to make that, so then I get saddled with it. I believe that it is, and I don't want them making a steak for me. So I'm going with, we'll go to the takeout or go to the restaurant. Father's Day.
Again, whatever dad wants.
Yeah. All right.
See, it always ends up being like a grill thing for us.
Well, yeah, because dads like grilling.
See, look.
Dads like grilling. Dads like grilling.
I'm doing Father's Day tomorrow because my dad wants to go to a car show and have all of us there.
Yeah.
And we're going to go out to eat beforehand.
Okay.
So there you go.
There you go. All right, my last or Father's Day. If you're going food, I always assume you're going grilling because that's what we do in my family. Best Father's Day food. The burgers,
or
hot dogs, or brats, whatever your family likes to cook. We cook both.
Burgers. Burgers.
Brats.
Burgers.
It's burger. Like you can
brats
get,
are good.
You can get a really high grade beef burger.
Yeah.
You can go lamb burger. A lot of different ways you can go with the burger. The brat.
You and your lamb.
How much lamb do you eat?
He eats a lot of lamb.
Why?
Because it's really good.
Is it high in protein?
Yes.
I like beef.
I'm like a chickeny guy.
He's a big lamb guy.
I am. I eat a lot. I eat lamb probably at least once a week.
Child murder.
Bah.
It's bad.
Lamb is consumed a lot in the
Literally-
Middle East,
well, literally
Asia,
anywhere not here.
Europe. Yeah, there's a lot of lamb because
It's prevalent.
America knows best. We eat beef.
It's what's
That's what Sam Elliott always told me. It's what's for dinner.
It's what's for dinner.
Clark College graduate.
Beef. Boom.
Was it David Douglas that he went to?
Yes.
There you go.
David Douglas High.
All right, that's it for Or.
That's it for Or. Hey, look, that was very Father's Day centric.
Yeah.
I tried to
Look.
be with the times.
Yeah. I think Mother's Day, moms want to be around their family and around their kids.
Father's Day, the gift is that
You
they're
don't.
not.
You don't. I'm not going to be at home on Father's
You
Day.
going golfing?
No.
No?
No.
Wait, what are you doing?
We football camp.
Oh, there you go.
We had a football camp on Father's Day.
Where are you guys going?
Linfield.
Oh, you're going to the first one. Hawkinson's going to the second one.
All right.
Why would they? This is like the NBA draft or lottery on Mother's Day.
Well, I mean,
Did nobody look at the calendar and go, see that glowing date on the calendar? Don't do it there.
nobody thinks of Dad. Nobody thinks of Dad.
So dumb.
None. Nobody. Not even dads.
It's true.
I had no
don't care.
idea when it was until Monday. And I was
like,
like,
oh!
No, that was when you're going to be gone for Father's Day. And I was like, nope.
Didn't, but I do now, thanks to the heads up.
My day anyways.
Yeah. So there you go. All right, coming up next, some folks from the NFL got paid and the what it could mean going forward. Danny and Dusty, Danny the Fan.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome.
A massive 5-year, $275 million deal, $55 million a year, $200 million guaranteed, with $142 of it fully guaranteed, setting the market going forward.
Look, this is. It seems like a no-brainer, but it's a risky one with injury history, and it is $55 million. We're probably going to look back on it
and go,
in 5 to 6 years. You're going to go smoking deal
Mm-hmm.
for a starting quarterback in the NFL. And that's why I never rush to judgment in any of these, because, look, does he have the full body of work that you sit there and you say, all right, this is a Mahomesian deal? This just paints the picture of how smart the Kansas City Chiefs were in making Patrick Mahomes' deal.
Yes.
Right? Like, he
For him
is
to be.
a value.
Mhm.
And him signing a 10-year deal is absolutely bonkers, but that tells you what their window of success is going to be for so long. But just as like with Tom Brady, you can't compare the anomaly to what the majority of the league is going to be.
Yeah.
And I do believe that at a point, this will be a value contract, but Trevor Lawrence has got a lot of work to do, right?
Mhm.
And things were trending in the right direction. Last year, gets hurt.
Mhm.
And you got the best ability is availability. You got to stay healthy. I still think he is an incredible quarterback. When your quarterback comes up, you got to pay him. You got to keep him if you believe in him. They believe in him. This isn't a Daniel Jones deal where
No.
you're squinting and you're looking at it going, does he have it? No, he
No,
has
you know he's
got
got
it. And he's got that it quality about him. And the Jaguars have done a very good job of starting to surround him with some quality talent as well. So,
Coach is not crazy in real talent. Are you paying Tua?
no way. No, I don't know. I don't know if I'm paying Tua 55.
A lot of folks are saying, Tua's going to get that money. And I'm like,
and he should. He should, because of the fact of it's your quarterback and he's up. But I think I'd feel more comfortable in, like, if you were to tell me 45, 50,
Yeah.
I'd be okay. I would be okay there.
it still hurts, but, I mean, it's not even just the concussions. It's the up and down. It's size.
And the fact that with Tua, you need to support him
Mhm.
with talent.
Yeah.
With guys like Trevor Lawrence, you can have
He can uplift.
He can drag talent forward.
Yeah.
But they're still doing a better job of giving him weapons in Jacksonville. It limits what you can do if you pay Tua that much money, though. And I feel the same way about Dak Prescott, who apparently is asking for $60 million.
Yeah, and I was literally just going to say I put him in the same category as Prescott. Look, if you want to be the team to give him $60 million, $55 million, go with God. If Danny the GM, I'm good. I'll fall on the sword. If that's how I go out, that's how I go out.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with you 100%
Not doing
there.
it.
But like Trevor Lawrence, I see some of the people in there up in arms. I'm just going, come on, what are we doing here? He's a really good quarterback who took a team that had no business being in the playoffs to the playoffs. He was in an incredibly tough situation with Urban Meyer as his head coach. He rebounded very well with Doug Peterson. Give him more time. We need to have time and give grace. Look, if it backfires on the Jacksonville Jaguars, then there's obviously something there that they overlooked and they weren't paying attention to. On the surface, he looks like Trevor Lawrence is a guy who's going to be worth that money.
Yes, unquestionably, unabashedly.
Every single one of these, though, you're rolling the dice. You never know, especially with a guy who has an injury of history or a history of injuries. And so we'll figure all this out, and I hope Trevor Lawrence is great. I hope he lives up to that deal, because Jacksonville, they are sneaky. The Duval folks, that fan base is absolutely lunatics, and I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm picking up what the Jags are putting down.
We're going to take it to the limit.
We're going to take it to the limit. Year one. All right.
When you told me that was a woman, I was like,
yeah.
Huh?
That lady rocks. Let me play. Here she is. Here we go.
First year, we took it to the limit.
Are you going to regret this deal with Trevor Lawrence?
First year, we took it to the limit. Certainly not.
Certainly not. I love her.
Definitely thought that was a dude.
Yeah, no, that's what a lot of Marlboro Reds will
I'll
do
say
for you.
that's the Marv Red for sure.
Yeah.
That's Cowboy Killer voice. Heard that one before.
I love
Lawrence getting this deal, I get it. I pedigree, all that kind of stuff, belief. And this, I think it kind of ties into like the whole like Celtics versus Warriors thing. It's like the old flirting versus harassment, you know?
Mhm.
With Trevor Lawrence, it's flirting. With Tua, it's harassment. It's like, I don't know.